Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daingeon, and on today's episode we're checking out a brand new projector from BenQ. This is the HT4550i. Stick around.
Nice to be in orbit.
All right everybody, thanks for joining me here on the Daingeon. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe below. Today we're checking out the HT4550i. I've been waiting on this projector for quite some time. BenQ was nice enough to send it my way for review, and I'm going to share it with you guys. This LED flagship projector produces a great 4K image, has HDR Pro and low latency gaming. So let's go through a list of all the features. I'll show you how to set it up, and we'll get this thing on the big screen. Thanks again for joining me, and let's get going. If you guys have watched my channel for the last few years, you know that BenQ has been super supportive in sending me some test units to try out and show you guys exactly how these projectors work. This HT4550i is the flagship projector for home theaters right now, and it has a ton of gaming features as well. As you can see here, this falls in line just above the HT3550 and 3560i, which just came out not too long ago as well. The HT4550 is a home theater projector by classification. It has a 4 LED lamp, puts out about 3,200 lumens for brightness. Contrast is 2 million to 1. HDR Pro is one of the main features. It does support HDR10 Plus, as well as 100% DCI-P3. It comes out of the box calibrated. It has a filmmaker mode, a 24p mode. You can get a 100-inch image from 8.5 feet, and it has the new Android TV QS02, which I'll go over a little bit later. Beginning with the unboxing, you'll see that the HT4550i comes in your standard BenQ packaging. Inside the box, power cable, the instruction manuals, and some literature. The Android QS02 dongle, some batteries, 2 remotes, and the projector. On the front of the unit, on the far right side, you'll find a large cooling grate for the processor. On the left-hand side, covered by this shaded lens cap, you'll have your LED light source and the lens, and just below that to the left is an IR sensor. On the right side of the projector, you'll find the air intake fan, and on the left side of the projector, you'll see that there's a keypad mimicking some of the buttons on the remote, as well as the air exit. On the back of the projector, all of the ports shine. We've got insignia on the left, a speaker just below that grate, an SPDIF audio out, media reader, HDMI 2.0, HDMI 2.0B, USB, RS-232, a LAN port, and the covered area for the QS02 media dongle. The top of the projector has a ton of stuff to show you as well. Underneath this plastic tab, you actually have your focus and your zoom dials. You just switch this little cover open and you can adjust those manually. I really like that. Adjusting manually seems to work really well. And then below that you have your lens shift dials for vertical and horizontal. It does show you that 4K HDR insignia, so if you hang it upside down, you've got a nice little badge there, and then another IR sensor there by the BenQ logo. Taking a look at the remote, this is a new redesigned remote for the BenQ HT4550 and a few other devices. It's nice, sleek, it has rounded edges, all the buttons that you need, your typical projector menu, settings, Android features, etc. And this thing is really cool because not only does it feel nice to the touch, but it also has that backlight that everybody's been waiting for. Yep, BenQ finally did it. They added a backlight. You can watch movies in the dark. You can see which buttons you want to press. There's some quick access features such as screen adjustment, volume, like I mentioned before, source, settings, etc. And it looks great too. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the new QS02 media dongle. This thing's pretty sweet. It's a nice upgrade compared to the QS01. The new features include, but are not limited to, HDR10 Plus. It has Netflix built in. It has this new remote Nice, small, compact. It's not backlit, but that's okay. It's just for the media device. You can quick access a few of those different streaming services that you may like. And the thing is much smaller and much more capable than the last unit. It has a little bit better reception. It seems to be much smoother, faster, and it doesn't have the ports sticking out. In fact, it has a mini HDMI port on one side and then a micro USB to power it on the other side. I've got all the features compared here on this screen. You can see on the left, the QS02 has your Google software. It's upgradable, just like the QS01, but like I said, it supports a few new things like Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5 support. It also has your AV1 video format support, HDR10 Plus support. It works as a USB reader as well, and it has that flexible HDMI cable connection. So makes it a lot nicer, a little bit more modern, and you can see it compared to a few of the other sticks on the right-hand side. Installation is super simple. Just take your standard Phillips head screwdriver, take off this back cover. It slides into those slots really easily to stay in place. Plug the QS01 power strip into the micro USB port on the back of the QS01 device, and then slide it right into that HDMI mini port, and you are good to go. Just make sure you pair the remote after that. In this part of the video, I tested the fan decibels on normal mode, so its brightest setting. You can see we're getting roughly 48 to 51 decibels in the main seating position. In eco mode, it actually drops down to around 46, 47 consistently. The exhaust fan is on the left side, so if you do sit next to your projector, just understand that you're going to get some hot air coming out of that. It's cooling the processor and sending it your way. It's not too inconvenient, but just keep in mind if it's next to you, you can feel that air. Setting up the projector, super easy. Take the power cable that is supplied with the HT4550i and plug it in. And then on the top and the right side, make the adjustment settings using that focus dial. Brings the picture up, and you can follow the prompts that it gives you on screen to select your projector position. It also tells you exactly how to prepare the remote. Make sure that you pair it to the correct device, select your language, and follow those instructions as well. Once everything is set up, you're greeted with a nice Google menu, and that brings us next to the user interface, which is similar to most BenQ projectors. You have the option to select between standard and advanced mode. Once you're in the advanced mode, you can take a look at the picture settings, fast mode, color, contrast, tint. There's more advanced settings that allow you to change the temperature. You know, that's your normal, your vivid, your cool, your warm. You can also do advanced color temperature management, management to calibrate it, wide color gamut, Cinema Master, which has your enhanced features, your light source mode, which we have in Eco in this video here, along with audio, so you can select cinema, music, game, sports, or set your own audio settings. I did take a look at the user settings, and it has its whole EQ soundboard, so if you're really into that, you can mess with it and get it exactly how you want. But my favorite mode was typically cinema, if you're just looking to listen straight from the projector. Your display settings allow you to adjust your aspect ratio, 3D mode, which this thing has for those that love 3D, your HDMI settings, so you can kind of set it up to do enhanced, as well as device control and powering it up. And then it has that 24p true cinema mode for content that's shot in 24p. If you're looking to do some more adjustments, it does have keystoning. I don't necessarily recommend keystoning if you want to take advantage of game mode, but if you're not worried about that, you can do the adjustments with the keystone both horizontal and vertical, which makes it super convenient if you're placing it in an area where you don't necessarily get the exact view or angle that you want on your projection screen. Have watched my previous videos, you know that lens shift is one of my favorite features, and on the top of the BenQ HT4550i you have these manual lens shift dials that allow you to kind of increase and adjust the size and where the image is placed without moving the projector at all. It gives you like a 10% up, 10% down horizontal and vertical lens shift capability, then you can actually zoom in and zoom out after that to fit your screen very easily. This is my favorite feature, especially for those that have hard to reach or projection screen areas where you just can't fit it in exactly to your screen size. You can use that test pattern mode to do that, and then finish it up with some of the other installation settings. It also has a network port on the back for factory firmware upgrades and connecting through the internet. And then your menu settings, like I showed you guys earlier, that allows you to make sure that your calibration's set up, your firmware is up to date. I mentioned it before, but this device, the QS02 Media Stick, has Netflix. That's a great addition. Take a look at some of this footage. The application popped right up. Once you log into your Netflix account, you can get all the content that you would normally get on any other streaming media device. The picture looks great. It accepts that 4K HDR signal, so you get all the latest and greatest features that Netflix has to offer, including even spatial audio, assuming you run that to your sound system and use that. The content is all there. I'm so glad that BenQ finally decided to work out what they could with Netflix and get this application on their media stick. It's a welcome addition, and I'm going to use it a ton. One of the tests that I typically run when I test new projectors is what's it like with ambient light. Here it is with 100% lights on downstairs in the Daingeon. You can see that the picture on this white screen is pretty washed out. That's to be expected. It is super bright, so I can still see what's going on, and your eyes do kind of adjust, but once you switch it down to like 50%, like we're showing here, you can probably do stuff in the background, still see what activities you have going on, and watch a pretty acceptable image. However, with the lights off, as you guys know, this is the best way to watch this projector or any other projector. The color is super vivid. The brightness shines really, really well, and this projector just kills it when all the lights are off. My favorite setting was HDR brightness at -1. You'll see some of the color contrast here. The color levels just come out super nice. This test footage is probably one of my favorite to use because it gives you that accurate skin tone, it gives you those bright colors in the background, neons, black levels. It definitely also shows you exactly what this projector is capable of with dynamic contrast. So take a look at some of this. I'll post this video in the description below so you guys can test it on your units as well. And if you choose to pick up this projector, this is definitely one to impress your friends by showing them. Speaking of black levels, the HT4550i is very impressive with dark scenes. This is another one that I used to do some of my tests. I don't see any type of blue light. Obviously, it's not that OLED quality. No projector really is. But man, this is one of the closest I've seen to accurate black levels on the big screen, especially using a white screen. Check out this footage. Test it for yourself. I'll also leave a link in the description below so you can check it out on your projector. And finally, let's take a look at some gaming. This projector that I'm playing Gran Turismo 7 on is a 4K 60 capable game. The game mode also has the ability to accept a 1080p 120 Hz low latency signal. So if you are interested in playing games that are, first-person shooters or something that's much more fast-paced, you have that ability as well. Obviously, it changes the resolution to 1080p, but honestly, the projector outputs such a great image that you might have a hard time telling the difference. I prefer playing this in 4K 60 because the game is just so impressive. It has all of those colors that you're looking for. It has that fast-paced action that the low latency is going to give you. And honestly, probably one of the best games to play on the big screen. Well, that pretty much wraps up today's episode, guys. This $3,000 projector is quite the flagship offering from BenQ. I'm super happy that they lent this to me to do a review for this channel. This projector gives me some of the best image quality I've seen in under a $5,000 price point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. If you didn't, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you ask me any questions, or maybe I can post some stuff that I missed later. Anyway, thanks for joining me here on the Daingeon today, and I'll talk to you guys next time.